Hello. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a really, really great day today. I wanted to pop on just really quickly to give you 5 quick tips to improve your writing. So as you are coming in, say hello, send up a greeting, let me know where you are in the world, and we're going to get into this really, really quickly. It has been forever since I have gone live on my own platform, and I just wanted to pop on really quickly today just to kind of give a few writing tips for our aspiring authors. So come on in, say hello. If you don't mind sharing, I'd love it if you would share. But I've been working on some manuscripts pretty regularly, and we've gotten some really, really good manuscripts in, but I just wanted to pop on really quickly to give us just a few writing tips. Just a few, just 5 writing tips to really improve your writing. Now, sometimes I know people have a hard time getting started with writing because they think their writing has to be super, super complicated. But I want to encourage you that it doesn't have to be. Hey, Dominique, how are you, my love? So glad you're on. But your writing doesn't have to be complicated. And I know a lot of times it can be difficult to finish a project because we're overthinking, we're over strategizing, we're just doing way too much. So I just wanted to come on really, really quickly and give you 5 quick tips to improve your writing. So if you haven't done it already, please go ahead and hit that share button. If you haven't done it already, send up a greeting, say hello, let me know where you are in the world. I'd love to connect with you. Again, I am Dana Tyler. I am an author, an editor, and the instructor for So You Think You Are a Writer. I've been working on some really great e-course material to kind of go along with some of the other things that we have. But I just wanted to pop on really quickly to give you 5 quick tips for improving your writing. And the first tip that I have for you today is, first of all, have something to say. Listen, having something to say makes writing so much easier. You don't have to feel like you have to fill up the page with random words when you know that you actually have something to say. And if you feel like you're at that point where you really don't have something to say, I really suggest that you read more. Reading will definitely, definitely help you have something to say so that when you read something new or you come across some new insight, you'll be able to share that with your audience and give your specific opinions. Hey, Nikisha, thank you for joining us. So good to see you. So the first writing tip, sometimes we get down to write, we really, really want to write a story, but we're really not sure what to write about. But it is important for you to have something to say. That's the first writing tip. Real quick, the second writing tip is this: write short sentences and short paragraphs. One of the overwhelming things that I have noticed, even with more of the recent manuscripts that I've received, is that run-on sentences are not our friends. They're not your friends. You don't have to have elaborate sentences or make them too complex. Each sentence should have one simple thought. Just one simple thought. Everybody put that in the comments. One simple thought. Just write short sentences and short paragraphs. And it helps you to stay focused, and it helps you to be able to finish your work because you're not trying to overcomplicate it. So tip number 2 is write short sentences. It's okay. It actually makes you feel smarter when you write short sentences. I know sometimes people think in order to sound more intellectual, they have to have all these long, convoluted sentences. I promise you, it will help you, especially if you're a first-time writer. if you would just write short sentences and keep your paragraphs short. Just one simple thought. That's all we need. We don't want to overcomplicate our writing, especially if you're a first-time writer. So the first thing is have something to say. The second thing is write short sentences and short paragraphs. I promise you, it will help you and it will help your readers, because short sentences and short paragraphs are easier to understand and easier to read. You'll notice that your newspaper, full of short sentences, it gets right to the point. It gives you the information, it's easy to read, and you can go on about your day. The third thing that will help you improve your writing is don't be redundant or repeat yourself or say the same thing over and over again. See what I did there? You don't have to be redundant in order to emphasize your point. Now, of course, when we're speaking, it's okay for us to overemphasize what we're talking about, but redundancy in writing will lose your audience. Your audience will lose interest in what you're saying when they notice that you keep being repetitive. Say something once, say it well. You don't have to say it multiple times. Being repetitive does not reinforce the point that you are trying to convey. It actually causes you to lose your audience and they will lose interest in your writing. So don't be redundant. I know it makes you feel like you're smart. I know it makes you feel like, you know, you have to fill up the pages, but what it really tells us is that you don't have enough subject matter to fill the pages. So you need not be redundant in order to emphasize your points. Now, the fourth thing I want to tell you, fourth writing tip, be specific. Now, a lot of times we get into our writing and we definitely want to be descriptive, but you want to be specific when it's warranted. So, for example, now, of course, we still want to use simple sentences, right? But I can say something like, I grow lots of flowers in my backyard. That's a simple sentence, right? But if I want to build a descriptive history or a descriptive writing, I'm going to be a little bit more specific. So I could say something like, I grow 34 varieties of flowers, including sunflowers, roses, azaleas, and African violets. Now, when I become specific in my writing, it gets you to imagine everything that I'm writing, right? So if I say I grow lots of flowers in my backyard, that's kind of boring. But if I tell you specifically the types of flowers, then you see in your mind the yellow sunflowers, the red roses, and it draws you into my writing. So be specific when it's warranted. Go ahead and type that in the comments. Be specific when it's warranted. Now, sometimes we get overly specific and hung up on details that don't really matter, but we want to be specific in those things that do matter. And of course, when you're trying to set a tone, if you want your readers to imagine a scene with you, it's best to give as many details as possible. But remember, you can still do that with short sentences and short paragraphs, making sure that all of the information is concise and you're not redundant. So real quick, our last tip, I told you I was not going to be on here very long. It's just been such a long time since I've gotten a chance to see you all, but I wanted to pop on live and just give you 5 quick tips. So our last tip is to choose simple words. Now, again, when we're writing, we want to sound like an authority. We want to sound like we're educated. We want our audience to know that our opinions are valid, that our writing is significant, but that doesn't mean you always have to use big words or an overcomplicated vocabulary, especially if it's not your regular way of speaking. If you don't typically use if you don't have that expansive of vocabulary, if you don't often use big convoluted words in your normal day-to-day conversation, don't try to do that in your writing. I understand if you want to grab a thesaurus and do some different word choices, perfectly fine. But don't, if you have an opportunity to say use instead of utilize, say use. If you have an opportunity to say something is near instead of in close proximity, I know there are certain phrases that we try to use. We want our audience to know that we're educated. We want to lend credibility to our writing, but don't use language that's not your custom. You don't have to do all of that. Choose simple words. The less if you have to use a longer word because the meaning is so specific, then go for it. But if you have the possibility of using shorter words or simpler words, go for that. Remember, short and sweet is it. You want to keep your writing concise. You want to keep it clear. And oftentimes the reason we don't finish our writing, or the reason we're too intimidated to start writing, is because we feel like we have to use all of these terms. We have to write long, convoluted sentences. I promise you, your writing need not be complicated to be clear. And sometimes what keeps people from actually writing their stories, writing that book, writing that poetry is because it can be very intimidating. But you don't have to set out to write the great American novel on your first try. Keep it simple, sweetheart. That's all you have to do. Keep your sentences short, keep your paragraphs short, choose simple words, and you'll have no problem writing your story and getting your work out to the world. Did you all enjoy this quick little live? It's just a few minutes, just 5 quick tips that I wanted to share with you. I'm so excited about some of the things that we're doing with the So You Think You're a Writer series. If you have a work, if you started writing a book, or you are kind of stuck in the process, please feel free to contact us at Tyler Enterprises. We'd be more than happy to help walk you through the process. Self-publishing and helping independent authors become published is one of the funnest things I get to do. So I totally would love to assist you if you are an independent author and you want to get your work published. It's not as complicated as it may seem. I offer consultations. If you are having problems with your specific project and you need someone to kind of help you think through its organization or how to complete it, or even the next steps in processing, I am here for you. If you have a project that needs to be edited, formatted, and assistance with publishing, of course, Tyler Enterprises is here for you. Well, thanks guys for tuning in to this episode of the Writer's Block. I hope you enjoyed those 5 tips. I hope they will bless you in your next writing endeavor. And I hope to see you all soon. God bless you all. Have a very safe and happy 4th of July. We'll see you next time.